So just before we move on to the learning content editor, maybe we should see how to create learning material in the web application.
Yes. Can you share your screen, Thomas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Okay, do you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Yes, now.
Okay.
I can see it.
Okay, nice. So what we are going to do here is to create learning materials in the web application in order to use them after that in the learning content editor. So the first step is to go to the learning content manager and then select the learning material configurator. Here you will have a display of already existing learning materials, which are the one created for our test, for example.
Thomas, I think that we have problems with your sound. We cannot hear you well. At least I cannot hear you well. I don't know the rest of the people.
Yeah, also the image seems a bit blurry.
It's a bit robotic voice.
I think it's a connection problem. Yes.
I think that when you started sharing, you can hear me now, right?
Yes.
When you started sharing, your connection just died a bit.
Oh, is it better like this or no?
No.
No?
No.
I don't know what we can do actually with this system for showing my screen.
And can you?
Right.
Okay.
How is it now?
It's better.
Same.
The image.
It's better.
I think the image is better, but not the sound.
I just stopped sharing my screen.
I cannot see the screen anymore, and the sound is still bad.
Okay, let me try to reconnect maybe.
Okay.
Hi, do you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, now it's much better.
How?
Good.
Okay, let's try to share my screen. Okay, and now?
Very good.
The sound is okay?
The sound is okay. I cannot see yet the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we are. Yeah, it's his screen indeed.
This is the screen, okay? This is okay. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so we can start. So I was saying this is the list of previously created learning materials. So you have two actions possible regarding the one that are already in the list. You can view the information about specific learning materials. So you have for every learning material a name, a description, a difficulty, a learning material type, and then information that are going to be used then by our system to start a proper application. So I will explain later how to fill this field. You can also edit the already existing learning material by changing the values or of the present field. So what you have to do here is to click on the Add Learning Material button, and then to fill all the fields necessary. So for this example, we are going to create 3 learning material, one of each difficulty, one easy, one medium, and one hard. All 3 are going to be web-based LM. So I'm going to name it. So LM Web Easy 28 September, for example. Description Demo LM. We're going to choose a difficulty. So for now, this is still in development. You can choose a difficulty according to the LM, but we don't use it now. We're going to use it later but you can still choose a difficulty if it's more clear for you. But that's all for now. Then we're going to choose a learning material type. So I have 3 learning materials open on my desktop, which are the antonyms game with 3 difficulties. So this is, if we look in the list of learning material type, this is a digital game. So what I have to do is to choose the digital game entries in here. And we are going to do the same for the 3 learning materials. Then we are in the learning material identifiers section, which is a very important one because it's going to be used by the system to start the application, as I said. So here, for example, for learning material web-based, you need to fill the application locator field, which is actually the URL of the learning material. So here, I just have to copy this link and to fill it in here. So here we can say to the system, hey, this is the URL you have to launch for starting my materials. Then I have to choose a learning material identifier type. So here I will select, you have several propositions, but here you need to select the URL field because what we just put in here is a URL. And the support key moment, you can let it to true for now. Then when this is all done, you need to click on the Add Learning Material Application Installer. You need to click on it because actually you can have several identifier for the same LM. And this is very important to click on this button. The mistake you can make is to forget to click on it, thinking this is okay once you have filled all the fields. But no, you need to click on it. So once this is all set, you can press the Save button. And then if we are looking for our learning material, we can see it appears on the list, LM Web Easy 28 September. So we can see the information we just inserted. Now I'm going to do the same procedure for the 2 other learning materials, which are the same in the structure, but the only difference is the URL and the difficulty. So LM Web outside medium. Difficulty medium and digital game. Then I'll select my second learning material and just insert it here in the application locator. Then I'm going to select the URL again and add the learning material application identifiers. And press save again. So now we can see we have the 2 learning materials we just created. And now finally, the last one.
Well, Thomas is preparing this and advice because you will have to learn how to do this and do this yourselves. For every material, you usually have to create a triplet of easy, medium, hard. I found it easier to have 3 tabs open at the same time where I copy all the information and just change the few things that change, like the difficulty level at the end and the name of the LM. It saves you a lot of time.
So I'm just going to check we have all the information needed. Okay, it seems fine. Okay, so that's it for the part of learning material creation. Do you have any questions? No, if not, we are going to move to the learning content editor now. So the learning content editor is the software that will allow you to create the learning experiences. So in this editor, you have three main sections: the learning graph editor, the smart learning atom editor, and the learning action editor. We'll need to go through these three steps to complete a learning experiences. Starting with the learning graph editor. So what I'm going to do is to open the learning graph editor, and by default it opens a new one. So you have two possibilities. In fact, in the learning content editor, you can either create a new learning graph, or you can import an existing one from the cloud. So you have several buttons in here, and you can click on Open a Learning Graph from the cloud, which will open a window with a different learning graph already existing. So this is there is a lot, as you can see, because we are doing lots of tests, but we are not going to use of this one now. I just wanted to show you can do this. If you want to retrieve a learning graph you created previously, it's possible. Of course, it's possible. So I'm just going to name it new learning graph. So this is the LG for the demo 29. Yes, we're 29. I just wrote 28 in the learning materials, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Then when you have done this, okay, so this is the working zone of your learning graph editor. You have also here on the left a list of smart learning atoms, because the purpose of the learning graph editor is to add two things in the working zone. So you first have to create a learning goal. So I'll say learning goal demo. So this is my learning goal, and then the most important part, I have to add one or more SLA in the graph. So you have two possibilities here. You can either right-click and create a new smart learning atom, or either choose one existing from the list here. So this is the same thing I just showed you with the learning graphs from the cloud. This is all the SLA already existing from the cloud. You can just click on it, some add to the graph, and then you have some pre-configured SLA you can use in a new learning graph. The SLA are reusable. That's the point of the SLA, actually. So for the test, we are not going to use one existing. I'm going to show you how to create one from the basement. So I'm going to delete this one. So you need to connect the SLA to the learning goal by right-clicking, keeping pressed, and going through the learning goal. You connect the SLA. When you've done this, you have a small window appearing with the label weight. The weight is the importance the SLA has according to the learning goal. So I'll just let it to 1 for now. If anyone has question, please stop me during the demo. Okay. So now we are done with these steps. We're going to create only SLA just to show you. Now we are going to the second editor, the Smart Learning Atom editor. For this, you need to double-click on the demo SLA.
Sorry, Thomas.
Yes.
It's still Elena. Yeah, a lot of questions. Is it possible to use the LM we uploaded before online? Okay, yeah. In this, okay, so maybe a teacher can create a web-based LM, save it, and then use it for with the content editor?
Yes, actually, this is something we are going to see later.
Okay.
You will see that the learning material I just created in the web interface are going to be used in a step further in the demonstration.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, don't worry, this is the point.
Okay.
So yeah, so you can just double click on the demo SLA.
Wait a second, Thomas, could you go back to the LG screen?
Yeah.
Just to be clear, this is a learning graph, not the whole process. This thing only is the actual learning graph. What Thomas is going to do next is attach some learning actions to the SLA and then some learning action materializations to the LA. Sorry, go on.
Okay, thank you. So we have the same process in here. You have a blank working zone because this is a new SLA. What we need to do here is to create a learning action. As before, you can also select an existing learning action present in the cloud. So you can just click on one now and add it to the graph, but that's not what we want to do. We are going to create a new learning graph by right-clicking, create a new learning action. So this is our fresh learning action, and this is it for this step. You just need to create one, and then the configuration of the learning action is going to be done. So the same procedure as before. To entering the new editor, the learning action editor, you need to double click to edit. Okay, so you have two tabs in here in this learning action editor, the category and the materialization tab. So here you have to click or to choose the categories corresponding to the category corresponding to your learning action. So for example, here we have digital games that are playing action. So I'm just going to click on playing action and then move to the materialization tab. Again, here you have the list of existing LM, and actually here you need to choose LM because you cannot create learning materials from this editor. This is done only with the learning material configurator we can see here. So yes, Elena, to answer your question, we can reuse the learning material created via the web interface. So what we're going to do is to look for the just created learning material. So we have the three in here, and we are going to add them to the graph. So here we have the three learning material, and now we are going to create some conditions to tell the system that we are going to use this learning material only on certain conditions. I'll explain that a bit when it's created. So you just right click on the working zone and create condition. So here you have several choices according to the learner, environment, platform agent, and difficulty. So the thing is, the MaTHiSiS system is going to look over those attributes to see if it fits with the learner, the environment, the platform agent, and the difficulty you have configured in the MaTHiSiS web platform. If it doesn't, we are not going to see the actual learning material started. So here we are going to choose all types of learner because it doesn't matter for this demonstration. For the learning environment, we're going to choose classroom. Then for the platform agent, we're going to choose desktop and interactive whiteboard because this is the type of PA we're going to play the LM on. And then we have to choose the difficulty. So basically, the configuration of this condition will be the same for the 3LM because we don't need a different configuration except for the difficulty part. So I'm going to click on easy for this one. And then I have a condition set up here, which is easy. So I'm going to connect it by right-clicking and go to the LM Web Easy learning material. So this is the same, and we need to do the same for the 3 learning material. If you have a question, you can tell me now while I'm doing this. Okay. So now I'm gonna, so this is basically it. We have created the materialization for our learning action. I'm gonna add some more learning material to the learning action, just to show you what I told you about the condition. So here we are gonna look for some other learning materials that are already created, which are the CYL. Okay, so we are going to select the same learning materials on now. So this is the antonyms. The three learning materials are the antonyms game. We're going to choose the same on now. And we're also going to create condition, except that this time we are not going to select the same platform agent type, just to show you that the system will select correctly the right PA. Because in the learning experience we're going to start, we are not supposed to play the learning materials on now, but we are going to add them anyway, just to show you how it works. So we have the same attributes for the learner, classroom, and then we're choosing moving robots. And then easy. So I'm just choosing moving robot because we're talking about now. Okay, and then connect it to the learning materials. Okay, and now we are finished. So once this is all done, you need to save all the work you have done until now. So you have here this save button, this save the current learning action to the cloud. So you just click on here and you have here a little pop-up that says you have successfully saved it to the cloud. So we're just gonna save now the learning action is registered on the cloud. Yes.
Sorry, before you change the tab, just one question. You can you assign a condition to several learning materials? Because now you create the moving robot, but Tattlebot is also a moving robot. So I'm not sure how we are going to configure this. I didn't notice this before, but now, because inside the learning material you can put the condition of QR code or now code, so yes, we can have different learning materials.
A common condition for the two learning materials, you
mean? Yes, but the moving robot is for both, I suppose.
Yes, the moving robot is for both. Yes. So this is not one thing we have done for now, but we can look at it later if you want.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
One short question. Sorry. You said that we have to save pressing the cloud icon with the arrow pointing up. What difference does it make if we use the save everything button that is on top of the screen?
Actually, I'm not sure this button will be here forever. We just put it here for debugging purposes because it was more easy, but I think it's going to be removed in the end.
Okay, so we have to use the cloud button.
Yes, that's the same. Actually, that's the same functionality, but the save everything just save the learning action and the SLA and the learning graph. But for more precision, you need to save each step one by one. Okay.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
No problem. So I think I already saved it. I'm gonna save the SLA now. So the demo SLA has been successfully saved on the server, and then I'm gonna save the learning graph. Okay. So now we have created a complete learning graph with only one SLA, one LA, and several materialization for the LA. So we can also have more complicated graph with a lot of SLA and LA inside, but that's not the point of the demo right now.
We can demonstrate one if you want.
Want to show one?
Yeah, the JSeal now that you use should be complicated enough.
Robot simulation?
Yeah.
Okay. So here, yes, you have more complex learning graph with several learning goals and each SLA corresponding, only one SLA per learning goal, even one learning goal going to a learning goal. So you can create very complex structure on this editor. And if you're going
to open one SLA, you can see that you can have more LAs in it.
The same goes for the LA. You can have more, and then materialization according to the LA.
Okay, and now another important thing. Thomas, you showed already how we open and check a graph. One important thing that did go wrong once people tried to create graphs and use them is that they did not, they forgot to save, or something happened and did not save correctly, and the session wouldn't run because there were, for example, no LAs or no materializations, or the SLA was not saved. So if something happens, now that you know how to check the graphs, you have to check that everything was okay as expected first. You notice that the SLA for this particular case overlapped because it was only one-on-one. Don't be scared. Pull them around and until you see the structure that you are expecting. So that's how we check this one.